you tell yourself, don't bring it up. It's not the right time. They'll just get defensive. Or maybe I'm overreacting. But deep down, you know the truth. You're not keeping quiet because everything's fine. You're keeping quiet because you're scared of what will happen if you don't keep quiet. You fear their reaction more than you trust your own feelings, and that is the slowest, quietest way to erase yourself. So let's look at what's going on here. This isn't about avoiding conflict, this is about emotional self-protection. Because every time you brought something up before, they've turned it around. They've accused you of being too much. They've stonewalled you. They've made you regret even speaking. So now your nervous system runs a scan before you open your mouth. You feel the fear before you even finish the thought. And slowly, silently, you stop trusting yourself. You stop believing that your pain is valid, that your needs are real, that your voice deserves space. So let's break this down. You feel something isn't right. You want to say something. You're very clever at predicting their reaction, and you talk yourself out of it. And then you feel disconnected but blame yourself. And then you repeat. And every loop that takes you further away from who you really are. You're no longer living. You're just managing. You're editing. You're shrinking. And the worst part, you don't even feel like you anymore. Just a version of yourself that's easier to love. When someone teaches you to fear your own truth and your own existence, this isn't love, it's not respect, it's not stability. It's emotional training, conditioning you to stay small for their comfort. They might not even know they're doing it, but the pattern is there. Their reactions are big and yours are wrong. They get loud, cold or sharp. You become quiet, cautious and numb. You stop bringing things up. They stop being accountable. And just like that, your emotional safety is gone. But the relationship keeps functioning like everything's fine. Because you've taken responsibility for holding all the tension just to keep it alive. So I'd like you to ask yourself, do I fear their reaction more than I trust my own emotional truth? Do I hold back, not because I'm unsure, but because I know how they'll twist it? Have I stopped bringing up important things because they always turn it into an argument? If you're answering yes to any of these things, you're not imagining it. You've been taught that their comfort matters more than your reality. And that is not love, that is emotional submission, and you becoming invisible. And the deeper issue here is that you've learned to gaslight yourself. This is the part that no one talks about. When you're afraid of someone's reaction, you don't just stay silent. You invalidate yourself. You start thinking, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe I'm just sensitive. Maybe I should just let it go. But here's the truth. The moment you begin fearing their reaction more than trusting your gut, the relationship has become unsafe. Not physically unsafe necessarily, but emotionally, you've lost your right to be real. So how do you get that power back? Firstly, trust your gut over their guilt trips. Your feelings are valid even if they disagree. They don't get to rewrite your truth just because they don't like hearing it. Secondly, stop predicting. Start expressing. It's not your job to manage their reaction. It's your job to speak your own truth, your own version. Say it, even if your voice shakes. I feel like I can't bring things up with you without you reacting. Or, I've been quiet because I'm afraid of how you will respond. Or, I need emotional space, not emotional strategy. Then, observe their pattern, not their promise. They might say, you can always talk to me, but when you do, they explode, shut it down, or play victim. Their reaction is the truth, not their reassurance. Then rebuild self-trust in small moments. Write things down. Make a voice note. Say what you're afraid to say, even if it's only to yourself right now. Practice hearing your own voice and your own truth without shame, because once you start trusting yourself again, their reactions lose their power. And in my takeaway comments, you should never fear losing love just because you told the truth. You should never be in a relationship where you feel like the emotional bomb disposal unit, constantly diffusing situations so that nothing explodes. That's not peace, that's emotional captivity. So, if you've been quiet lately, if your stomach knots before you speak, or if your voice feels like a risk, not a right, know this: you're not crazy. You are not asking for too much. You are simply asking for freedom in a place that's become a cage. And you don't need permission to stop being afraid. You just need one moment of self-honesty to say, I'm not doing this anymore and I don't belong in fear. And in that moment, you'll come back to yourself powerfully, fully, unapologetically. Because love should never ask you to trade your truth for approval.